You guys ever had a bad day, but then you do something you love and you totally forget about it? I hope that you all have something that you can go to when you have a bad day or hard emotions that makes you feel at peace and makes you feel like yourself again. And for me, that's gardening. My name's Kelly and we're out here in my garden today for another tour. I've been posting a weekly vlog to YouTube since March. The stay-at-home order for the coronavirus kind of perfectly coincided with gardening season, so I decided to do a little video each week to document my journey through this gardening season. So these really exploded. These are morning glories that are just here from last year that reseeded themselves, and I made this trellis just out of sticks, and they are gonna make it to the top in no time, I'm sure. So it rained kind of a lot last night and into this morning, so everything is gonna be a little damp, so I'm gonna try not to touch things because you don't want to touch vegetables when they're wet because that can spread diseases. So here's our peas. They kind of flopped over because they got so tall. We're still getting a lot of pea pods and blossoms, but I think they're on their way out. I think they're almost done. Oh wow! Did that just come out of its cocoon? That literally just happened. So anyway, here's our tomatoes. I'm super excited for these tomatoes. They're called Purple Bumblebee. They're a purple striped cherry tomato. That'll be so fun. We have loads of fruit setting on the tomato plants. I have no doubt that these tomatoes are doing so well because of the carp that we buried in these garden beds. If you've not seen that video, look in the description, I'll put the link down there. Here's my kale. I kind of really love this purple kale, it's so pretty. And I have to show you guys this monstrosity because nothing ever goes perfectly in a garden. I think I might lose literally all my cabbages. The red ones aren't as damaged, but you can find the culprit easier. So there's this little white moth that lays eggs on vegetables in the cabbage family, and their little caterpillars hatch and eat the crap out of your cabbages. These are a couple of volunteer ground cherry plants. If you don't know what those are, that's too bad because they're delicious. They're like these little fruit. They have a papery husk. This is not near ripe yet, but when it's ripe, the fruit will fill this papery husk and the papery husk will turn yellow. And they're called ground cherries because when they're completely ripe, they will fall off onto the ground. But you can pick them a little sooner than that and they're still good. So the fruit inside looks like a little yellow cherry tomato. Sometimes they're a little bit green, but they taste more like a fruit than a tomato. They're much more sweet. They're so good. Like you can eat a whole bowl of them. They're so good. I just planted more heads of lettuce in this bed. And these two beds, out of 40 slips, like 7 of them survived. Like 90% of them did die. They were old, they were like hand-me-downs left over from a friend, and they're a few days old, so that's probably why, but I'll show you the ones that survived. So that's what a sweet potato plant looks like, and these will vine out a lot more. And then in the holes I planted these little teddy bear sunflowers. I have some blooming other places in the garden, so I'll show you what they're gonna look like. This is a volunteer chamomile plant in my tomatoes. It's been making like huge flower heads. Like all of them are like that big. That's like really big for a chamomile. That's so big. This is a volunteer dill plant that is blooming just in time for cucumbers to be coming on. I forgot to show you guys an update on the sunflowers in the last video, so these they're like 10 feet. They're like 10 feet tall now. I think the last time you guys saw the sunflowers, they were like 2 feet tall. So what I found with having the beans climb the sunflowers is that having the sunflowers in a row, like 2 rows like this, I think has the beans has them shaded out too much, because this time last year these beans were, I think I was already getting beans, and these plants don't even have blossoms yet. Here's our milkweed patch. It's been pretty cool to see all the different pollinators come to this little milkweed patch in the garden. Like, there's so much diversity in different bugs. Like, look at these guys. These guys are here every year. Like, how cool is that? They must, kind of like the monarchs, feed on the milkweed. I think this is a good spot to insert the video of Tim and I releasing the monarch butterfly that we raised as a caterpillar just earlier this week.
Happy birthday!
So this happened this morning. I thought it looked funny when I checked it this morning. The chrysalis turned from green to black. I actually thought it died or it was rotting or something. And then next time I look, this little butterfly is hanging from it. So we are going to release it into our milkweed patch over there. Look at his curly tongue. Here are these teddy bear sunflowers. Actually, I think they're called sun gold sunflowers, but I've seen them in other seed catalogs called teddy bear. Here's our carrot patch. I'm excited about these peppers. They have quite a bit of fruit set on them now. It's a variety called Carmen. They're actually a sweet pepper. I know people are confused because they have that pointy shape. They're not a bell pepper, but they're actually a sweet pepper. And I super like them because, I mean, they produce a lot and they actually are sweeter than bell peppers and they ripen much sooner. A lot of times in our climate in Wisconsin, your bell peppers might not ever get ripe, or it takes forever for them to get ripe, so you mostly just have green peppers from bell pepper plants. Actually, a green bell pepper is just an unripe bell pepper. So then we have our potato plants, looking great. Then we have this empty space where the onions were, and more potatoes. Look at these beets. They look awesome. I planted more beets, and they're just coming up. And this is all those bolted greens I just laid, and some weeds I just laid down. A lot of them had seed pods in them that I thought were not mature, but look at what I just noticed yesterday. That's like arugula or mustard greens that sprouted. Wow. I should maybe take these off so they can keep growing. So I might have a wild patch of greens right here. And here's our salad mix. It's gone to seed. We're pretty much done with the salad. And this I have covered because I sowed some more carrots here, and they need to be kept moist or they will not germinate. So I watered them and then covered them, and then I will check them every day until they sprout. And when they sprout, I'll take the tarp off and they will look like this bed of carrots that I planted a few days earlier.
That looks like little grass, but it is carrots. Another benefit of having wood chip mulch is that it just fosters a diversity of biological life. It's really good for the soil.
So now we're over at the other side of the garden by the squash. Here are my cucumber plants. They've really filled out, and they have loads of blossoms. Loads. All that yellow is blossoms. Loads. Look at these little baby cucumbers. So it'll be a while, but real soon we're gonna have loads of cucumbers. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Oh, those are squash beetles. They are a pest. I think they are what's chewing these holes. Look at this zucchini plant. Look at this zucchini plant. Look at this zucchini plant. I wonder how long it'll be before we get a zucchini. I actually had my first zucchini from the garden yesterday morning, and we're about to have a lot more. So once a zucchini gets to this point, you want to check it every day. Actually, I could harvest this one. It all depends on what you prefer, but I think I'll get it tomorrow or the next day, and it'll be the perfect size. So here's a butternut squash plant, and look at what I just found. That's a butternut squash. Oh my gosh, I did not see this yesterday. And look at that teensy tiny one right there. That is the smallest little squash baby. I planted some more of the mammoth sunflowers along this fence line by the squash. Thought it would be fun to have multiple blooms of the sunflowers. And plus I think the seeds are gonna be really cool to harvest for the chickens. And here's more squash plants. Like these are doing, there's so many, I don't even know where one starts and one ends. Pumpkin plants are always get enormous. This is my pumpkin plant. Wonder if we can find a little baby pumpkin. Oh, there's one. Little baby's pumpkin. Well, I hope you enjoyed the garden tour. I do want to give you an update on our meat chickens. So I just want to say, I hope you enjoyed this garden tour. If this is something that you enjoy, please subscribe. Or if you just like watching these, even if you don't like gardening, but you find this entertaining or peaceful or heartwarming or whatever, click the subscribe button. There is a little bell that will alert you when I upload new videos. Thank you for watching. Hey y'all, watch the end to check out footage from our new CATIO. Little chicken update. It'll probably be another couple weeks before they're large enough to butcher. They're not chicks anymore, that's for sure. Oh, it's really fogging from the humidity. Here's Tim's latest project. It's our CATIO. Coda.